with the first arrival. Priyanta, this time Priyanta is good. RBT, can you introduce yourself? And also Himanta. Star BT, I unmute your mic. Please go ahead and introduce yourself till other people come. Yes, we hear you.
You want me to speak, sir?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Right. I'm Rishant. Maybe I'm one of your student. I'm very new to this session. I just heard of from your Facebook. So I just want to see what is going on.
Okay. So you know what
Anyway, thank you for this opportunity.
you are in the MBA class? Are you in the MBA class?
So your line connection is not clear. Yeah. I was in your MBA class. Yeah, you're right.
Right. Where do you work?
All right. Thank you.
Where do you work?
From particular.
Okay.
How do you work for DMS?
Okay. So you are a technical guy. So welcome. Himanta.
All right.
Yes, I am also one of your students, sir.
Former student.
Almost, yeah. Now attached to brandings.
Last time you said you have 3D operations now, right? Innovation something.
Yes.
Can you very quickly tell something to the audience?
So still we didn't install any 3D printers here, but we are interested on these subjects and this technology. That's the main reason to join with the team.
Okay, but I heard you have a separate branch on working on 3D printing. Is it true? The innovation center or something? Somebody told me.
Yeah, actually, I joined Brandix from last November, but earlier I was with MAS.
Yeah.
In MAS, there was another
Okay. So maybe Brandex can collaborate because at Markandura, close to FabLab, we have two Brandex companies, Phoenix and Textile. So maybe you can also be our corporate partner. Okay. Where's Chinthaka?
Oh, you sleeping? Okay.
Chinthaka is back. The speaker is missing.
One of these.
Rajan, you want to say something about Chinthaka is back, huh? Okay, Priyanta, please, sorry, Chinthaka, go ahead. Priyanta, please, maybe I have Chinthaka, please, go ahead.
The session design thinking lecture online.
I can't unmute him. I can't find out. Okay. Where is this guy? Okay.
We can't.
Chinthaka, please somebody unmute. I don't know how to unmute. He is not appearing in my screen.
Okay. Now,
sorry. Chinthaka, you can go ahead.
Can you see the presentation? Can you see the presentation or?
Yes.
The full screen or?
Yes, full screen.
Pakistan company
Okay.
Just busy there.
This is actually about the ethics of the technology. When they don't pay attention. Okay, now I just got it. So I muted him. You can go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So yes, design thinking is also a collaborative effort, and members from diversified backgrounds would be a great opportunity for design thinking activity. And then prototyping, testing, and experimentation. I know FabLanka, for an example, has been experimenting for a long time, and until they recently started this new facility in Markandura. So both involve these things. So we can look at the differences later on, maybe in a different session as well. At the moment, I see the possibility of design thinking in a social enterprise like FabLanka, which is something that FabLanka members are interested in. So let's look at design thinking application. I'm pretty sure most of you or some of you may have already seen the design thinking process, the phases of it or the stages of it. So I'm using the Plattner's model here, which is also the same model used by the Stanford University design thinking process. If you look at it, you'll see, you'll find that the document. However, there are some other models which are similar, but some of them are maybe shorter versions of this model. Some of them are kind of expanded models. You may see if you type on Google, a lot of models coming out for design thinking. Now it's developing. It's becoming becoming very hot topic these days in different contexts. Hello? Can you hear me now, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So I can hear myself as well. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
So the first, there are 5 phases of it, according to Stanford University's model. That is Empathize. This is the model I learned and used and practiced when I was in Germany, studying design thinking at the School of Design, Entrepreneurial Design Thinking in Germany. So there was this entrepreneurial element of it in Germany. However, the key model or the main model they used was this one. So it's about empathizing, then defining, ideating, or ideation we call it, and then prototyping and testing. So although this looks like a linear process, as I said, it is a non-linear process. So you may test, you may do prototypes while you're doing ideating, or while you're doing defining, you may test something. So it is not a linear process. So you can go back and forth in these steps and phases. That is encouraged. You were encouraged to do it. So and then the empathize. What is empathize? Empathize meaning here. That is the first step of the model of design thinking application. So it's about focusing on focusing on understanding people. As I said, design thinking always focuses on human-centered solutions. So to produce a human-centered design process. So how to empathize was the question. You can observe, we can engage with people, we can watch and listen. So it's very important. For example, in my when you teach or when you learn design thinking, normally you don't stay in a classroom. So during the process, for example, when I was studying design thinking, I had to go. We were sent out to the streets to observe what people are doing, and to observe the issues they're encountering in their day-to-day activities, and then take them into the classroom and try to produce solutions. So, and we were also encouraged to engage with people. I have got pictures of meeting people in Koblenz, in the city. So we interacted with people, had conversations with them, asked them why this is happening, how this is happening. We interviewed some people as well, but they were more like conversations. So these are all encouraged. So that is the empathizing phase. And the important thing is you watch and listen carefully to the people's stories and try to elicit those stories. So bring their stories forward. By doing that, you understand, you have a better understanding of the problem and the person, and also the context of the problem. That is important. Culture and context. Which context it is, because the solution you produce may not, if you do not understand the context, the solution you produce may not be very helpful for them. So that is the reason you need to have a better understanding. So you need to listen to the people's stories, which is very important.
That's Chinthaka. Stuck? Can anybody hear Chinthaka? Okay, be fine.
Can I hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, Chinthaka, but you have to go a little bit faster because we need time to also discuss. So
Okay. Yes. So capture the insights of these stories is important, and then ask and work with your team why this might be, why is an important question in design thinking. So and develop an understanding about the type of person, and to make the design for the user. This is very important. As I said, it's about the end user at the end of the day. You always focus on that. So during the process, you may forget. It is possible that you may forget the end user. So I have experienced it. So that is why I always keep on focusing on the end user. And then the ideate phase. This is the phase I think we will do a small activity here as well. So ideation is very similar to the brainstorming kind of sessions we do in creativity and innovative activities as well. So it is very similar. So it's about generating innovative ideas to solve the problem. So how to ideate? You can do a brainstorming session as individuals. That's what I did. That's what we did. Brainstorm as individuals, and then as a group, we took those ideas and then chose the best ones or the most practical ones. And then we, at this stage, you can prototype as well to evaluate ideas. This is one area where you can use something like 3D printer. We didn't have 3D printers those days. So prototyping, I think 3D printers are very helpful equipment to do it. And then use various techniques, brainstorming, mind mapping. So the idea is, again, focus on the end user and try to produce a better solution. So let's start an activity, FabLanka. So what is FabLanka? It's a globally connected social enterprise. So from my engagement with FabLanka, these are the things I captured about FabLanka. It contributes to sustainability through social, environment, economical, in all three areas. It empowers people, train people to be trainers of digital fabrication, and there's an opportunity for people from different parts of the world to contribute. So it's a basic idea about FabLanka. So people from FabLanka, the founders, and they also can give us some ideas about FabLanka. So what we are going to do, our activity is actually about task one. I'll give you like 2-3 minutes. So how FabLanka can expand its activities in the future. So we'll do an ideation phase here. What are the options to expand? So if you can come up with, maybe I'll give you 3 minutes or 2-3 minutes. Come up with at least 2 ideas using Zoom chat, the one we used already, would be great. So we can have a look, we can move on from there. So the 2 minutes will start. Is it 2 minutes? Is it okay, Chaminda?
Yes,
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, 2 minutes. We start now. I'll share my ideas as well.
So basically now, since
yes,
go ahead.
I was trying to say now we have been reaching schools and universities, but
Okay.
next step probably is to reach some political guys to give their support. These are one of the key things I'm thinking of, rather we are all thinking.
Yeah, Kichi says 3D
and also
printing
to
schools.
go to private organizations.
Yeah. Also, in my kind of concern is how to maintain the sustainability in terms of revenue generation. We have been trying with a lot of donor funding, but it's really difficult to get funding because the donors are focusing on existing poverty, alleviation, and such kind of issues. So funding is a main issue, whether we generate revenue through our products or should we rely on donors. That is one concern we have. You can also do ideas on that. As Priyanka said, also maybe reach to local and national organizations, maybe sponsorships, maybe any collaborative work in product design and new product development. So this is also one consideration. network, also developing the network, national and international, volunteers, experts like people we are here, and also local community. We already go to schools, maybe some other individuals, but we also like to have more connection, FabLanka as the more public place. Okay, there are a lot of chatting ideas coming. Can somebody, Ration, can you read them?
Yes, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the FabLanka people can copy them and
Yeah.
get the ideas. So it's great to see some. So it doesn't matter, I like the crazy ideas as well. So we have crazy ideas. We have some competitions in my university, for example, to get people to give crazy ideas. So it doesn't matter, they might also be very useful and influential as well. We don't know. So the ideation phase is basically about collecting some ideas. So that is the I want to give you a little bit of idea of how to use the. It's more of a brainstorming session. So we have got a lot of ideas here. Yes, take 3D printing in schools. I think you have already done it. Mobile classrooms is one of the things I discussed. I sent a message about it to Chaminda.
Yeah.
Mobile classrooms. I have seen it I think in the US, in Germany, they have mobile English classrooms in buses. So that is also a possibility.
Yeah.
I know that you talked about funding and these issues, but we can find a solution always. Design thinking, there are better solutions. So, okay. So connect with other companies, collaborate with other institutions. There's a possibility. So these are all possibilities. It's looking at the possibilities and collecting some ideas. That is the ideation phase of design thinking. Then, thank you for the ideas, everyone, again. So let's try to move on to the next activity. So basically, the next activity is about choosing the best ones, the most practical ones. So I think the FabLanka people can do it. What are the most practical ones for them? Getting some more ideas. Okay, open collaborate innovations. Wow, there's so many. So that's why I said it's a perfect opportunity, this interdisciplinary group of people to do a design thinking activity. So so my presentation.
So I like the one that Kisiri just the government budget has a huge allocation for SME development. Go and hijack that.
Yeah,
and maybe that's a good one to chase. So yeah, so I mean, just since you asked, okay, what is the best one out of these?
Okay, all right. This is the most practical one. That's the question in design thinking, or even in an innovation activity. Is it the most practical one for you? That is important. So we can think about it later on in the next. So basically, we will. I just wanted to give an idea about the ideation phase. So we will look at many ideas, and then we will look at how practical they are, and we will prioritize them based on the practicality, and maybe looking at the affordability as well, and choose the best ones that we can go to the next stage, that is prototyping. So my presentation seems to be stuck now.
You can reshare and unshare and reshare.
Yes.
Yeah, I think its series idea is actually very timely because thanks to the government issues, there's a change in the finance minister. So the new guy is encouraging technology and also the SME. So we cater to that. Okay. Yes. Next one.
Okay. So
still the same slide.
Still the same. Yes.
You can make it maybe non full screen, like try it here. Different layout. Is Patirana there? I didn't hear anything from him. You connected back?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay, now we see Chinthaka. Make it full screen.
Okay. All right.
How many slides to go?
It's almost finished.
Okay.
So try the full screen. On the full screen seems to be stuck for some reason. So I'll go with the smaller one. Is it all right?
Yeah.
I have no option. So
you have options. I can open from here, but I think better you go from
yes.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for reminding me the options. So yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the idea is prototyping. So prototyping is another very important phase. Every phase is important, of course. Prototyping, so it's an iterative generation of artifacts that have potential to answer the problem, and it helps you further thinking, develop more ideas. That's why I say this is an iterative process. So sometimes in prototyping stage, you may go back to the beginning. So it's like sort of doing a PhD. I think people who've done PhD as well, they know that you go in circles until you find a solution sometimes. So, and most important part is in prototyping, you fail quickly and cheaply. That is why you need to do prototyping. You get an opportunity to fail and also learn from failures and then fail cheaply. So that is why it's important to do prototyping. So how to do prototype? It's about start building something. You can use 3D printing for an example, and then think what questions is answered by this prototype. So in a design thinking, if you try to solve a problem, sometimes you may need to, you may not be possible to produce a solution for the whole problem. You can divide it into parts. I think in system thinking, we discussed it. You divide a problem into parts and try to produce solutions. So that also we can do. We can develop prototypes to answer different parts of the problem and ultimately find the solution for the bigger problem. And then again, it needs to be emphasized here, build with the user in mind. Yes?
I need to add one thing. When you say how to prototype, these are all good, but in addition to that, there are like things like, for example, when you think about the FabLanka social enterprise, to prototype that, what we did was, started like a pilot Fab Lab with some initial findings. So it's not, so the 3D printing is good if it is a particular, physical product, of course.
Physical product, yes. I know that, yes.
And then in some cases, we can build
simulation,
simulation or model. Like we have a lot of techniques in systems engineering to do that as well, like SML models like that. So there are a lot of techniques to do the prototype.
Prototyping, yes.
I just wanted to add that point because it's not just using 3D printing. It's not only applicable for just a physical product, but for anything. So.
Yes. So, So, and then the next phase is about testing. So why testing is important? It's an opportunity to get feedback from the user. So the end user is always in mind. So remember, this is about humans again. Human-centered end users are important. And then how to test. So in design thinking, it's about giving a prototype to the user's hands, if it's so that the person will use it and see how it can be used. If it is a solution that is producing something for him to use at home, let him take the prototype home so that he will try it and he'll give feedback. And then if you can observe how they use it, that is much better. However, you need to give it to the user, and then try to create experiences. That is also important. Just explaining the prototype is not enough. Get them to experience it. So, and give multiple prototypes. If you have failed prototypes, for an example, if you have thought, oh, this is failed, you can still give them to the user and get them to use. Sometimes you don't know the one that has failed might be a better solution for the user. At the end of the day, the focus is about the user and the human-centered solution. So to summarize the session, I hope you had a basic understanding about design thinking. as Gratian mentioned, there are different ways of doing it, prototyping and ideation. We have different, so we can maybe discuss another way of doing it in a different forum. And what we learned, there are different interpretations for design thinking because it's been applied in different contexts by different people in different disciplines. And also there's a difference between design thinking and design. We can talk about design thinking, a difference between different design thinking and systems thinking, for example. There are differences. However, they are connected. They might complement each other. They complement each other, actually. So, and then we learn a little bit of our application design thinking one phase, which is ideation phase. So yeah, that's the session, and thank you very much for your ideas. I hope they'll be very useful for FabLanka people as well. So let's move on to the questions and comments. Any questions? So we can, I think, start the discussion now.
Yes, I think what we should do is we can have some clarification questions directly, but at the same time maybe have more contributions and suggestions, ideas. Maybe some opinions.
So I have got the reference page as well. So if you want to go and look at further about the subject, there are some latest links. So
one suggestion is that, so Chaminda, I think you should send the presentation to everyone who attended today, so that they can, they have all resources available if they are further interested in, in reading.
So the Gratian and Chinthaka will be like answering if there are questions, but you can have a free discussion without any instruction. Yes, please go ahead. Gratian, you can continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah.
Can I go?
It wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Can I go with my first question?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You said at the very beginning that this is human-centered. Yes. And is it the way that the world sees most of these designs right now? Because the reason for this question is this. I did, in 2012, I did the Amazon warehouse in Canada. And when they called us, when they called us to the warehouse, there were about like 650 people employed there, right? Okay. And well, we completely automated that. And right now, as a result, like it was commissioned last January, and right now it's only 37 people working there due to automation. So it is true that it is basically human-centered eventually, but in the meantime, this whole process is like automation kind of things like are perceived basically like a big job loss, and it's being talked all around here. Okay, and so what kind of like answer do you have for those people?
I can chime in. So actually, that's a huge problem. So we need to solve that problem. That's like a the world political problem basically. It's not a simple problem. Just we can I don't have a direct answer to you, Kisiri, but yeah, it's true that we need to have a human-centered view of automation. Automation is required. It's good. Eventually, it's going to help everyone. But the thing is, if we continue the way that we are continuing now, it's not going to help because a lot of people are going to lose jobs, and then that's going to be a catastrophe at the end because people are losing jobs and then economies can collapse. So I don't think there's anyone who is looking at that. I may be wrong. There may be people who is looking at it. There was some articles from Bill Gates and Elon Musk regarding that recently. But again, there's no collective effort or there's no comprehensive look at that huge problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also don't have a direct answer for that. It's a huge problem, as you said. So yes, the solutions we must produce are should be human-centered, based on design thinking, of course.
But currently, like even though you say like it is human-centered, is it not like basically right now? Is it not basically owner-centered or The end user centered.
I think
so I would say right now it's a kind of owner centered. In fact, most of that's how the businesses are doing it, because they are always thinking about their bottom line, not the human centered view, but their business centric view. How to maximize the profit for shareholders. That's their.
That is why exactly we need design thinking approach like that. Yes, so that is why I think Tim Brown and people like that are trying to.
So Kisiri, that's why we need social enterprises, where we think about not about maximizing the profits, but how we that's why, in fact, when we started FabLanka, that was our view. There's one. So in fact, we are trying to give a solution. We are not big, of course, but we are starting to find solutions for the problem you just mentioned right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes more, so we can get some questions.
Chinthaka,
we have 10 minutes more. Please raise your hand. Yes.
Have your attention, please.
Yes. Please raise your hand, then we can give you the chance. But Dr.
Chinthaka, this is Patirana.
Okay,
Yeah. In fact, I was listening carefully to the design thinking and then the related concepts that you explained. At the very beginning, during some years ago, even in the classes, we were given specifications of a particular product or component to design, and then the task was to design the product. But these days, what we give the students or to the people is the problem, and the problem is given, and then they are expected to conceptualize the problem and then identify whatever the views from the people, users, consumers, and so on, and then come up with the specifications for the product or the process. And this design thinking does involve almost all the steps in the manufacturing even, up to the delivery and marketing too. So because why finally it has to be acceptable to the market. Therefore, conceptualization, initial stage is very important. Collect market information and then collect information from the users or consumers. That is why it is called human-centered. Do you agree to that? Finally, it has to be acceptable to the market, and then the people. It should not be rejected in the market.
Yes, that is one way of looking at it, actually. So as I said, there are different ways of looking at it. So as Greshan said, design thinking is currently more focused on social entrepreneurship. So application of design thinking for social enterprises is one of the things that design thinkers are emphasizing on. So it is actually also based on, there was this discussion from Michael Porter in 2013. I think Chaminda sent me he did a TED talk and he raised this issue. Are we producing solutions or are we creating problems in the world? So if you look at the big businesses in the world, like Coca-Cola, or these carbonated soft drinks, or fast food, we have actually created problems rather than solving a problem. This is a huge question that he raised in TED, and he emphasized the need of social enterprises, because we know that for the last 20 or 30 years, we have had NGOs trying to produce solutions to this. We have had businesses saying CSR, but what we know is that problems are growing. So more and more people, as somebody said now, are losing jobs. So is it human-centered? That is a question we need to ask ourselves. So yes, I agree that it's a different way of looking. It's a different approach to look at it. And design thinkings do not discard these views, but accept them as well. So thank you for the idea. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, what I wanted to say was the empathize is should be taken in a much broader sense. That covers obviously the marketing research and whatever we did in normal designing products. So empathize has been a more generalized term because now it covers creativity in so many other spheres as well. And you guys talking about this should be a social enterprise. I really don't agree, because whether it is social enterprise or any enterprise which is society, because we are now seeing more and more, not only government projects, even private projects, there's a lot of us who have not been consulted or who have not been communicated properly. And as a result of that, projects are getting delayed. Sometimes their costs are going up. There are so many problems. So therefore, this design thinking approach is something which needs to be inculcated not only in designing things, but also in designing projects, designing implementation of so many other social measures. Maybe even, I mean, you can see in the Sri Lanka 101 examples I can quote where without approaching on a systematic way, we have got into a lot of difficulties trying to even do good. Intentions are very good, and the project itself maybe have the deliverables are going to benefit the people so much, but then we can't get it off the ground because we lack a systematic approach. Anyway, I see a lot of similarities between this and engineering design. My favorite Professor Pius method of design, the total design approach. But of course, that is purely for engineering designs, and therefore this is much more generalized. And my interest was, I read somewhere that in some countries, now even in schools, teaching has been changed. They have no curriculum. So instead, the students come into the class and the approach is design thinking. So I thought you were going to at least mention that. I think that what they are looking at is to make people more creative and innovative, because Sri Lanka is seen as one of the most backward nations, right? None of our scientists have won Nobel prizes. The reason is we have been saying yes, yes, yes in our classes, and we never question our teachers. Maybe so probably a design thinking kind of an approach will create a new bolder set of scientists who are not afraid to question things. I'm quite happy with people like you because you are a much younger generation.
Okay, so we have to finish the
way
session.
You are looking at things is much more.
Kitsiri, we have to very quickly finish within 2 minutes. Actually, we should come back again for one more
that's
session.
All what I want to say.
No, one more session. I think I suggest that we come back. Okay, but also Karunaratna has a question. Okay, so if you can ask the question within 1 minute.
Really interesting. So
yeah, so you can reply later, but we'll take the question.
Thank you very much,
Karunaratna's question. So Karuna Nayaka.
Yeah, everyone needs to join again. Join the same meeting link again.
Yes.
Once this disconnects.
Yes, please, Karuna Nayaka, go ahead.
My question is, design thinking itself is not a thing that you can commercialize overnight. Yeah, but design thinking, I see it as a tool for innovation, which you can commercialize and gain economic benefit to the society. So I want some advice from the experts about this view.
In innovation activities as one of the approaches for innovation.
No, you don't have to answer now. Okay, Chinthaka,
so it's commercial enterprise, so it's franchise.
I think we have a lot of questions, so we can answer one by one. But it's important that you come back. So just want to take time to invite you again. Please reconnect back. We'll go for another itinerary. So for another 40 minutes, so we can have long discussions and more answers. Is it okay?
We have like 1 minute left. So,
yes.
Krishan, you have any ideas about that question? You can add something. We have 1 minute.
Yeah, go ahead, Chinthaka. I think you can start and then.
Yeah. For teaching, yes.
After
application design thinking for teaching. I think it's being applied there. For example, the program I attended was entrepreneurial design thinking, where it was applied for teaching entrepreneurship, and they have been discussing this school of entrepreneurial design thinking. So develop innovative thinking and creative thinking of people. So that's what basically they did. Use it as a method of teaching as well. So as
okay, so we'll come back, but we will need people like Dr. Madhu Fernando to contribute with some ideas. So we'll come back again. Yeah, one more time. And Kitsiri from Canada, I'm sure he has a lot of ideas to contribute.
Yes.
Yes. You don't have to necessarily ask questions, but you can also share your expertise and experience.
Okay, yes.
Right. In meetings?
Yeah, everyone